Welcome, welcome. We are going to be starting promptly at 3 o'clock, but we're going to start letting our participants come in. So thank you for joining us today.
Hello, hello, hello.
Thank you all for joining us. We still have some participants coming in, so we're going to start promptly at the top of the hour. So as you are coming in, if you have any questions at any time during our session, you can drop them in a Q&A. We are being joined by some of our Khan Academy team members who will be answering questions in the Q&A. So please feel free at any time to drop any questions that you may have in our Q&A section. Have about 1 more minute. All right, it is the top of the hour, and so we are going to get started. We want to welcome all of you here today to join us for our session. The title of our session is Khanmigo, Khan Academy's AI tool for the classroom, the teacher and student edition. My name is Deanna Klingman. I am a professional learning specialist here at Khan Academy. And I am also joined by...
Hello, hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Marbra, and I too am on the professional learning team at Khan Academy. And I hope everybody is having a wonderful Wednesday.
All right, so we're going to get started. So before we dive into our content for today, we want to hear from you, the audience. So using AI to support student learning is a new concept. And so it's going to be plenty of time for everyone to learn about all the various tools that are available to you as an educator. So before we get started, we just want to know from you, how familiar are you with AI and student learning? So there's going to be a poll that's about to pop up, and we just want to know, are you very familiar? You regularly use it in your classrooms? You might be somewhat familiar. You've used it a few times. You might be slightly familiar. You've heard about it, tried it once or twice, or you're just not familiar at all. And you're just here to kind of learn a little bit more about it. So, okay, we're seeing that there's some people somewhat familiar. Okay. We have some slightly familiar. Because we're all learning at this point. So this is new. So thank you for, sharing kind of where you are at this point. All right. And so for those of you that may not, be as familiar, we hope by the end of this, this session, you have a lot of your questions answered that you may have at this time. All right. So most of you probably already know Khan Academy as a free resource that includes videos, articles, and exercises. And we know that that's true. We are about giving a free education to anyone, anywhere. But however, we also now have a paid district partnership that's available for those districts that are looking to get a little bit more support. And so in this paid district partnership, we have this partnership grants both teachers and students access to Khanmigo, which is our chatbot. And Khanmigo provides that in-the-moment personalized support for students when they encounter learning difficulties. Also, a part of this paid district partnership comes some wraparound services that support both teachers and administrators, and we offer robust professional development. And in that professional development, we incorporate practical strategies for incorporating AI into the classrooms. And so, this type of wraparound support, it extends through the whole duration of our partnership together. So you also may be wondering, what is the difference between Khanmigo and ChatGPT? So by now in the news, I'm pretty sure you've heard of ChatGPT, which is this large language artificial intelligence. It's a large language artificial intelligence model. But unlike ChatGPT, Khanmigo was specifically designed with educators and students in mind. So some of the things that Khanmigo does is Khanmigo prioritizes safety and data management. Khanmigo adheres to privacy and data protection guidelines like FERPA and COPA. Khanmigo is also a Socratic tutor that's going to guide students when they are stuck on a specific problem, and it's not just going to give them the direct answer. Khanmigo is also going to provide a comprehensive learning experience for students. And then as a teacher or as an educator, Khanmigo will also partner with you and support you with co-creating some high quality lesson plans and assist you with the progress monitoring process. So as you begin to implement Khanmigo into your learning environment, this is a new tool. So with anything that is new, it's going to be important that you carefully introduce Khanmigo to your students. You want your students to know and understand the clear expectations around using Khanmigo. We know that as educators, when we set those clear expectations, students are more than likely to meet them because they understand the why behind why this tool is being used in their classroom. So as you begin to carefully introduce this to your students, you want your students to know that their brain is their first supercomputer. Our human brain is designed to create to think creatively, right? And so AI cannot do that. We want our students to still be those creative thinkers. When students are stuck on a specific concept in our classes, we already give them some tools to do. What are some things that you can do when you get stuck? You can ask a friend. You can refer back to your notes. You can even use manipulatives, or you probably have anchor charts up in your classrooms for students to reference if they get stuck. They can even ask you as the teacher. But now you are bringing Khanmigo into your classrooms to now be that additional tool for students to have when they are stuck in their learning. AI is not meant to replace creative thinking. And so because of that, it's still going to be important that as educators, we continue to establish that that very high culture of creative thinking in our classrooms. You also want your students to know and understand that Khanmigo is going to be there to help them grow. They should understand that this is a tool that's going to help them grow and gain confidence in their studies. Khanmigo can also interact with students in other languages other than English. So if you have students that are currently in your classroom and English is not their first language, Khanmigo can interact with them in their home language. And so by removing that barrier, this is going to give all students in your classrooms the opportunity to interact and contribute to the classroom in a very meaningful way. And earlier, you heard me mention that we have our district partnership that includes the robust professional development. Well, as part of our professional development, we do train on what it means to be AI literate. And so as you are introducing AI literacy to your students, it's going to be very important that your students understand, one, what is AI? Right? What can it do and how should it be used? And all of this is available through our partnership as if you decide to become one of our partners, we definitely talk about this in our professional learning sessions. And so with that, I am now going to turn it over to Michelle.
Thank you so much, Deanna. This is actually my favorite part because I love sharing all of the amazing features that Khanmigo has to support and enhance learning for your students. So let's just dig right in there. So first, let's see how Khanmigo can be used in the course. I'm going to go ahead I'm going to pull up a course. And when I pull that course up, we're going to be able to see how students can use Khanmigo with that course. When students open up Khan Academy and they select a video or an article like is on the screen, something that they're working on, they have the ability to include Khanmigo into their learning journey by clicking on the lower left right hand corner of the screen. And mine is currently in teacher mode, which when I select that, it's going to give me a list of prompts such as, do I want to write a lesson plan or create warm-up activities for my students? But for today's purposes, I'm going to change it to student mode, turn that teacher mode off because I have my student hat on. And then it provides me another set of pre-populated prompts that are related to the content that's on the screen, which are specifically designed for students to make that learning more engaging for them. So students can also ask Khanmigo questions, but I'm going to I'm going to ask Khanmigo a question that most of my students asked me anytime I introduced a new concept to them in class. Why should I learn about this? So I'm going to select that and let's see what Khanmigo says. Great question. Knowing how to evaluate expressions with two variables is like a secret decoder ring. It helps you solve real world problems. For example, if you're baking cookies and the recipe says 2 cups of flour for every 1 cup of sugar, that's an expression with two variables. If you know how many cookies you want to make, you can figure out how much. Do you want to try a problem from the article now? Yeah, let's do that. Yes, please. All right, awesome. Let's start with the first practice problem from the article. Can you evaluate the expression 6a plus 4b? No, I cannot. And as a student, I'm just interacting with Khanmigo, and Khanmigo is going to help support me with answering the questions and what's on the screen. Now, Khanmigo can also be used alongside the exercises in Khan Academy. So I'm going to go ahead and select one of the exercises. And just like before, Khanmigo provides me pre-populated prompts related to the content that I'm working on. And let's see, again, why should I care about this? I could ask that or try a similar example or help me solve the problem. Or I can even ask my own questions. So first I'll do, why should I care about this? Because I think that's always interesting. Well, what are your goals in life? All right, Khanmigo, I want to be a singer. Cool. As a singer, you might need to split profits from a song with others. Very true. This math can help you figure out how much each person gets. Does that make sense? Absolutely. So now I'm going to go into, now I know why I need to learn it because I want to split I don't want to split all my royalties. So I'm going to go into the actual activity. This is what the students see. And I'm just going to ask it, what's the answer? Because I don't feel like figuring this out. Let's see. I can't give you the answer, but I can help you find it. Let's start by plugging in the values for G and H into the equation. Can you do that? No. Let's see what Khanmigo helps me do. No worries. We can do this together. Thank you. Let's replace the G with 10 and H. What do you get? And so with this, Khanmigo is not going to give students the answer at all. It's going to be a thought partner with them and helps them work through the exercises. Now, in addition to being students being able to access Khanmigo when they're working actually in a course, with our paid district partnership, students have access to our Khanmigo dashboard that's designed to support students in the subjects in Khan Academy, as well as other subjects. So I'm going to access that dashboard by selecting right here where it has AI activities. And I'm going to come down here, and one of the first things I want to do is, how about let's practice my knowledge. This section allows students to practice and build knowledge in any subject they select. This feature meets students where they are, and it helps support them as they build confidence in the content that they're working on. So first, Khanmigo wants to know, what age level am I? I always love middle school, so I'm going to select middle school. Great. Now, could you please specify the subject you'd like to be quizzed on? It can do math, science, history, English. How about let's do science? And I'm going to ask Khanmigo a question that I'm working on in class. My teacher asked me for homework. So can you help me with understanding cell parts and functions? Science is always fun. Absolutely. We're going to have a blast exploring the world of cells. Let's dive into the first question. Question 1. In a cell, where are the genetic materials stored? Okay. I have no idea. Am I smarter than a 7th grader? Let's see. No worries at all. Let's think about this together. The genetic material of a cell is like an instruction manual. It's stored in a place. And so Khanmigo is going to help me through the process of learning all about cells. Now I'm going to refresh it again. And this time I'm going to select a subject that's not necessarily in Khan Academy. How about I'm a high school student and I'm working in a pottery class? Let's say pottery. Fantastic. Pottery it is. Get ready for a whirlwind tour of the world of ceramics. Here comes your first question. What is the process of heating the pottery to a high temperature to make it hard and durable called? Got me. I have no idea. Khanmigo is so smart. And I love the way Khanmigo, it helps build a growth mindset for students. And it lets them know it's okay that they don't know it right now, but it will work with them and through the process. So it's all of these teachable moments, and the students are learning from this entire process. Now, let's do something else. How about let's go to our debate. I love debating, and it could be because my husband says that I love to argue, not sure, but the debate feature, students are able to first, they want to select their appropriate school age. And when they do that, they're going to get a list of prompts. And notice the prompts are age appropriate. So elementary school prompts are, should students wear school uniforms? Or is homework necessary, or should it be banned? If I come over to the middle school list of topics, they're a little bit more in depth. Should schools start later in the morning? Should schools offer art and music classes? And I'm going to come over to the high school version, a little bit more higher level. So it definitely works with age appropriateness of the for students. So I am going to, how about, because we're working on AI right now, how about Should schools ban students' use of AI to write papers? I'm a former ELA teacher, so this is definitely one that's near and dear to my heart. So I'm going to select that. All right, so great choice. Now, which side are you on? Do you think schools should ban students from using AI to write papers, or do you think they shouldn't? Khanmigo wants to know my side of the argument. So I'm going to say, no, I think they should. I don't think so. So, all right, you're saying schools shouldn't ban AI for writing papers. I'm all ears and eyes in my case. That's funny. Conmigo definitely has a sense of humor. So, let me think of my first argument. How I'm going to say, because you don't give me the answer, you guide me in the right direction. Ah, clever point. Thank you, Kamigo. You're saying AI can be a guide, not a cheat sheet. Absolutely. But here's a twist. What if students start relying too much on AI and start thinking for themselves? It's like using a map. It's like using a map so much you forget to explore. Your turn, buddy. So even though Khanmigo is a form of AI, it's still kind of playing the opposite side. And so I need to think about what my next argument is going to be. And we're just going to go back and forth. So I'm going to give another one. How about, because I have to write an entire essay on this, I'm writing an argumentative essay for my class. So I believe that AI should be allowed because it helps me stay focused on what I'm writing. Aha, you're saying AI is like a trusty sidekick, helping you stay on track and sparking ideas. But remember, too much of a good thing. And so Conmigo is going to go back and forth and back and forth, and I'm able to debate to help me look at the other side of the spectrum as well. So I love that debate feature. It's one of my favorites. Now, another amazing thing that Khanmigo can do is give students instant feedback. In our courses, students get immediate feedback anytime they answer a question. It will provide that immediate feedback that we know is so important for learning. However, Khanmigo can also give immediate feedback as well. So this is the start of my essay. So I'm just going to ask Khanmigo, can you give me feedback? Can you give me, and I'm going to spell feedback wrong so you can see that Conmigo does not worry about spelling, which is a great thing for me. Sure thing, partner. You've made some solid points about how AI can help with focus, organization, and idea generation. For improvement, let's try to give specific examples or tell a story to make your argument more convincing. Like, remember that time AI helped me structure my essay on dinosaurs? So Conmigo is not telling me how to do it. It's not writing it for me. It's my thought partner. And it's kind of like my trusty sidekick that's going to help me come up with ideas and thoughts to make the most amazing essay that I possibly can. So I love this feature on Conmigo. Now, another thing that Khanmigo can do, it can support students in their home language. Khanmigo is designed with multilingual capabilities that support English, Spanish, as well as Portuguese. These features are incredible resources for our EL students because it enables them to ask questions and learn in their home language. So I'm going to select another option. How about let's, what should I do? What should I do? How about let's chat with a literary character. Now, although when a student selects one of the features, the initial prompts and speech bubbles from Khanmigo will not be translated. However, if a student writes the Khanmigo in their language, Khanmigo is going to respond to them in that selected language. So I'm going to type something to Khanmigo. And let's see. All right, it responds in Spanish. So another way students can change the language for Conmigo is at the top of the page. There are going to be these three buttons up here. Students can select it and select their preferences. And one of the preferences that they can select is the language. So if English is the automatic default language, but students can change it to Portuguese and they can change it to Spanish as well. So I love that feature. Another thing that Conmigo can do on the teacher side is that, let's say a teacher wants to write a letter home to a parent, but the parent speaks Portuguese. Conmigo can ask, or the teacher can ask Conmigo to translate that letter to the parents in Portuguese or in Spanish. So it's super helpful that way as well. All right. Another feature that I want to share is, and I think this one, and maybe it's because I'm the mom of older children, I absolutely love this next feature because Conmigo offers several tools that focus on post-secondary activities, which are designed to assist students in their transition to higher education as well as career planning. So I could ask Conmigo to coach my academic and career growth. I could use that now. Why not? Or again, students can ask Conmigo, let's navigate college admission and financial aid. So I'm going to select that. So great. Here, looking at the prompts, it says, how do I apply for college? What are different types of secondary education available? Or what factors should I consider when picking a college? These are all great questions. How about something that I know that most college students or high school students preparing to go to college like to ask are, how can I pay for college? I know that's something on the minds of students as well as parents. Paying for college can seem daunting, absolutely, but there are a few key resources that can help. Scholarships, grants, work study programs, loans, personal savings. Does this answer your question, or can we move on? You know what? It does not answer my question because I don't know what a grant is. So I'm going to say, what is a grant? I have no idea. I have a cousin named Grant, but that's the best I can do. A grant is a type of financial aid that you don't have to pay back. Ooh, winner. I love that. Grants are often need-based, meaning they're given out based on a family's financial situation, and it goes through all of the different features. Ooh, it brings up about the FSA. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to ask Conmigo, what is this FAFSA? What is this called? FAFSA. Because remember, I'm in 10th grade or 11th grade, so I have no idea what these things are. It stands for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. Oh, okay, great, great, great. Thank you. Thank you, Conmigo. That is very, very helpful. So again, students can use this to help with that post-secondary exploration. They have guidance counselors, but realistically, how often are students able to visit a guidance counselor? They can be at home, they can do this, they can sit with a parent, they can go on Conmigo and ask Conmigo all types of questions, which will help educate them as well as parents. Now, I know I've been talking a lot about all of the great features that Conmigo has for students, but I don't want us to forget about all of the amazing resources that are available for teachers as well. With our paid district partnership, students will be automatically rostered. So teachers have access to, this is one of my favorite things for teachers. It's called the class snapshot. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. So the class snapshot gives teachers a quick overview of how students are performing in class on Khan Academy to help ensure that students are using the program with fidelity and that they're getting the support that they need. That's necessary for them to be successful. So once I select that class snapshot feature, Khanmigo is going to ask me which class. I could have multiple classes. So I'm going to select my algebra class. All right. Once I select that, Khanmigo is going to give me lots of great information about how my students are performing. And it just gives me a high level overview of their performance for the last 7 days. And it's going to highlight areas such as recent activity. What have my students been doing this week? Are they on track to hit their course mastery goals? Have they completed any assignments? What assignments are they working on? And what skills are they working on? How's their skill development going? It's also going to provide me these links that give me direct access to the reports that are in my class that I'm getting from Khan Academy. So I can always select that and it'll take me directly to these specific reports. Now at the bottom, it's going to give me prompts, which will help me learn about what my students are doing. So I can find out what student should I celebrate with the work that they've done last week. Who needs a check-in? It lets me know what students are struggling. Give me a list of students who are 25% or more towards their mastery goal. I need to know who's progressing, who's not. And then this one I think is my favorite because we all know the importance of small group instruction or skill-based group instruction, but we don't necessarily have the time to create those groups. With Khanmigo, does it instantly for me. So I can select group my class by their recommendations. When I select that, Khanmigo, again, remember, my students are automatically rostered, so Khanmigo has access to my students, and it's going to group them for me based on a course that I'm working on. So I can use all of these different features with Khanmigo. I can ask Khanmigo about a specific student. So I have my students over here. I can ask Khanmigo, can you create a report for Amanda? Let's see. Absolutely. Let's take a look. Here's Amanda's progress. And again, it's going to show me how Amanda's done the last 7 weeks. And if, let's say I had to go to a parent-teacher conference, I can just bring this with me. But wait, you know what? Amanda's mom speaks Spanish. Can you translate this to Spanish? Let's see. And it'll translate it for Spanish for me. So although Amanda's mom doesn't speak English, I can keep Amanda's mom informed of her progress on how she's doing in my course. So lots of great features. It's super, super cool. So when teachers incorporate Khanmigo into the classroom, it's like a teaching assistant. It's the teaching assistant I've always wanted, and it's an absolute game changer for teachers as well as students. So I am going to pass this back to Deanna. Thank you so much for your time and letting me share all of these incredible features today.
Well, thank you, Michelle. And so with everything that we've talked about, you're probably trying to think about, how is teaching and learning going to adapt as AI becomes prevalent? Well, one of the things we do want to highlight with you that it's going to be very important that you establish guidelines for plagiarism and clearly communicate that to students. Students should understand that original work is going to be important. And if they do use AI, they need to cite the sources. And they should also understand that they should only use AI if the assignment allows it or it's required to use it. And as part of our paid district partnership, you can receive support around planning and sharing what those guidelines would be so that you can share them to all of your stakeholders. So with AI being new, and as well as with Khanmigo, it is so much to learn. And so on behalf of Khan Academy, we want to share a couple of resources with you. So on our Khan Academy website, you are going to find Khan for Educators, which is a teacher support course that includes a unit on Khanmigo, and it has some videos on there as well. And then we also have a short but powerful AI education course located in our course library that we encourage you to check out as well. And we are going to share the links to both of those in a follow-up email after this presentation. So from moving barriers to supporting student learning, also imagine your students getting that in the moment support and feedback, especially during those times when you are busy with your other teacher tasks. Well, Khanmigo provides that. As Michelle just highlighted, if you want to be able to track your students' progress and have data at your fingertips to share with your students and your parents, and if you are a classroom teacher, even with your administrators, when you become a paid district partner, Khanmigo and Khan Academy has you covered in that area as well. So the only thing left to do is just try it out. There's a link that you see on this screen, but don't try to write it down because it's going to be emailed to you after this presentation. So please be on the lookout for a follow-up email that's going to have links to some resources as well as the recording of this presentation. So with that, we thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope you have a great rest of your day as well as a great rest of your week. So take care and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you
so much. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Happy learning. Have fun with Khanmigo.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Have a wonderful Wednesday. Happy hump day. See you later.